Good afternoon, this is RFC Maki, back with a flight report again. It's been quite a while since I've done this, but I'll explain why in a few moments. This is one of my favorite all-time offline missions available in Birds of Steel. I'm playing this in simulator mode on the Xbox 360. I love this because it forces you to start off in a very simple, low-quality plane, in this case the Hurricane Mark I, and the game opens up with you taking off on your airfield at Hawkinge, where you're being assaulted by a flight of BF-110s. For whatever reason, when the game is recorded, it doesn't save all the explosions that happen in the airfield, it's just the shells striking around you, so the dramatics of the opening segment are not quite there. But in this, you're forced to take off right off the bat. You haven't got the luxury of gathering energy, climbing altitude, and instead you have to hit the 110s as quickly as possible. All the while remembering that this is in fact a simulation game, so ammo is not unlimited, neither is your fuel, at least that you have to conserve, because the mission has two parts. After the initial salvo of 110s on the airfield, later on a set of bombers in HE-111s comes after you. You need to be able to take them down as well. So in this one, you're forced to fly low, and I'm actually using the ability of the Hurricane to turn much sharper than the 110s to take them out. In this case, I got a single hit on an engine, another quick shot there. I didn't see any strikes, but in just a moment here you'll find that the plane takes a dive and drops for the first kill. Again, most of this mission takes place low altitude. Look back, sees two 110s on my tail, one's taken off by a wingman. This is an offline game, so all of my wingmen are AI, as well as the AI running the planes. One other perk of playing an offline game that's actually quite exciting is that this does not have the glitch that you find in online games where the AI have what we call the arcade boost left on, where they can fly in crazy ways. These guys actually fly like regular planes, and because of that, that plane lost its energy, flew across my guns, and I took it out for a second 110 kill. One thing I'm doing now that I haven't been able to do before when I recorded videos, I used to set up an iPad in front of my TV set and record on an iPad. For a little bit I had access to a high-def iPad Pro or something like that, iPad Air I believe it was, and that gave me good quality videos, but I'm recently back to my iPad 2, which takes low-definition video, and the videos actually look quite terrible. But just this holidays, my sons got an Xbox One S for Christmas, and for efficiency, because my TV does not have that many inputs, a few shots here by the way, does not have that many HDMI inputs, I actually run my Xbox 360 through my Xbox One, and then I just switch it over to TV mode, and when I want to play an Xbox 360 game, it also saves some of the backward compatibility issues because I don't have to load my 360 games on the Xbox One. There's my AI wingman shoulder shooting, getting in my way, going after this plane. I thought I might be able to get a quick shot off here, knock him down, but the wingman gets in my way, so here I just pull up another way and avoid a narrow friendly collision. But back to the story. So just recently also my family purchased a Windows-based laptop, and I was incredibly excited to find that if you have a Windows 10 based laptop, then you can actually access your Xbox through the Windows-based laptop. Xbox One S allows you to record gameplay, and so I could actually open up and port the video of the Xbox One, of the Xbox 360 to my Xbox One, and then record replays. I can't record live gameplays, but I can record replays. So I'm actually watching a replay on the laptop in this way, and then recording that. Now there I was chasing a 110 over the edge of Dover. I thought he was going to run away, so I doubled back because knowing that there's a second wave of planes coming, I know that I have to land and rearm. So I figured I would just drop that 110, let him go, and come back and land. Now it's easy to spot the airfield because there's explosions and smoke back that way, so that's a very quick way to find the airfield. I thought my wingmen would take care of whoever's left there, so here I am slowing down and making a mad approach towards the airfield in hopes to land and refuel. So the perk here of recording video on the laptop is that now I can record videos in high definition rather than setting the whole iPad in front of the TV set. It also means that before I had to have silence in the house, wait till everybody was out or gone, turn the lights off so I got a decent recording quality, and now I can just do it at any time of the day as long as I don't have to fight somebody for either the Xbox or the iPad. There you saw the shadow of the 110 who followed me back to my airfield with a hoppy bounce, but I'm in a hurry because there was somebody on my tail. The 110 doesn't do very well. I think it takes a couple shots at me and flies away. I'm going kind of hot, so I shut off the engine and attempt to land in order to refuel and rearm. Now, I know that at this phase of the game, there is an armada of HE-111s flying in towards Dover, and in order to succeed in the mission, you've got to take off again. But again, this is the great challenge of flying a simulation battle, is that you really do have to manage your fuel and your ammo. So I'm back in the Hurricane, ready to take off. Well, rather than try to spend time reversing the plane, I went ahead and took off the same way I landed, knowing that the short fields, this is going to be kind of an emergency liftoff because, for whatever reasons, a drop-off at the airfield, but I managed to just get enough energy to lift off that drop-off, and then start using a Chandelle in order to try to gain a little bit of altitude in the most efficient way. Now the trick is to fly all the way from Hawkinge out over the ocean, or over the strait, in order to try to pick up the enemy 111s. It's a little bit slow at this part of the video, so I figured I would let you see a couple shots of the planes. Now that 110 came after me as soon as I took off, and again, I can cut inside that plane. I have a sharper turn radius than the 110, so I was able to cut inside the plane. Ordinarily, if I pulled that maneuver against an AI in an online game, they can usually cut back and actually get some shots on me. Now, before I could even line up my shot here, one of my wingmen, that guy right there, took down the 110, and so left me free to A, not waste my ammo, and B, to spend my energy trying to reach the cliffs of Dover out there. Up here, I'm going to give a little shout out to my friend Chris, who lives in Dover, and I figured he would appreciate some of the views. I do a couple of look backs so that you can see how nicely the cliffs and the docks are modeled in the game. Very beautiful game. And so now the trick is to slowly climb to the same altitude as the incoming planes. You can spot on the game map the incoming planes, and I know that the airplanes themselves didn't have radars built in, so I always like to imagine that the radio has warned you and let you know that there was an incoming flight of bombers, and that's actually what happened during Eagle Day. So they knew the planes were coming in based upon their radio defenses. And so individuals are able to go and meet the challenges. And again, flying, I enjoy the challenge of flying a plane like this one, which is a low-quality early war plane that doesn't have cannons in it. And so without the cannons, it's very difficult to bring down big planes. You just have machine guns. You have a barrage of 8 machine guns that all converge. I set my convergence to about 100 meters, which is not the best for going after bombers. It means you've got to get kind of close in order to get your bullets to converge on their ending and their fuselage. So it's not the most efficient setup for going after bombers, but it was a pretty good setup for going after the 110s. And as far as I know, there's not a way to change convergence in the middle of the game, or at least not an easy way of doing that. So there we go, a nice look back at the Dover Cliffs and at the port. And that's from my friend Chris Grimes, who lives in Dover. He always appreciates these in video games. He's a player of Birds of Steel also, but plays on the PlayStation 4. So here, the trick is to keep climbing, moving towards these oncoming planes. You can't see them quite there in the video yet, but in a little bit you'll see them as there we go, just a long line of dots off my left wing. I don't like to approach them head on. Here you can see a number of 110s peeling off from the group to come after me. I do a quick look back in a second just to make sure that they're not on my tail just yet. They have to reverse. And so I do a little bit of climbing. I like to hit the bombers from the side. It's not usually, you don't have to come in from the very tail end of the bombers. You don't have to destroy all the bombers. All you have to do is get enough of them to make them turn away. So I like to come at them from an angle, and I don't like to sit behind the bombers because they will shred you with their tail gunners. So try to come in a little bit obliquely, see if I can line up a few shots here or there and get some hits. And I'll say that this first pass was, aside from that little right there, was pretty pathetic, and I did not do a great job. Did manage to smoke one, and the crew bailed out. Now, these 111s react to, I think the 111s, they react to the bombs, react to the planes by changing direction. They look like they're reversing, heading back towards Belgium, but they actually aren't. They're just simply pulling a loop, and so following here just to make sure they're not going to turn back around, head off towards England again, and certainly they do, so they're worth staying on. Again, the trick is to try to bring enough of the planes down to ruin the attack and keep them from being able to maintain their attack on enemy. You don't have to drop all the planes, but you do have to hit quite a few of them, and again, in a simulation game, that's actually a pretty good shot there. In a simulation game, you have to keep shooting and still manage your ammo, so I only have the ammo available that I brought with me, but at this point of the game, somehow I managed to get some good shooting going on, so brought a couple of the planes down pretty quickly, kind of at the ideal distance. The planes are a little beyond the ideal distance, but in general, my goal here is just to get a few hits on them, get the engine smoking, cause them to drop altitude or lilt to move off to the side. You can see that there's a lot of these planes behind you. And this is the kind of thing you would never experience in an online game. Online games are largely about just dogfighting, but I do enjoy the story themes of these offline games. If ever, or whenever the Xbox 360 moves permanently offline, I still will get many, many hours of enjoyment out of Birds of Steel because the online game is just great. That was actually a nice setup. There was actually 3 kills right there in a row, so I think I was on a kind of a roll here, doing enough damage to these planes, bringing a few down, causing the engine to smoke. And there we go. That one's got a smoking engine too, so that you can see dropping altitude a little bit, losing momentum for the attack, and now the bombers are peeling off and turning back, which means that they've actually been dissuaded from attacking. They're not far from the airfield. And at this point, I suspected that I wouldn't be able to bring them all down, again, having either been very low or at this point running out of ammo. So I figured I'd take advantage of the fact that we're headed straight for the airfield and they're turning back for me to go ahead and land. The video's going to stop here in just a second, but when I originally played it, I actually landed, refueled, and went back after them again. Managed to chase them most of the way back to Belgium, but that part was actually not exciting because they were too far away for me to hit. I did not realize until I saw the external video that I had been hit at some point by one of the tail gunners. I figured I was safe, but I had been hit, so I'm leaking a little bit of fuel here. I got the wheels down and lowering altitude, lowering speed, dropping my flaps and so on in order to make a hasty landing back at Hawkins. I didn't really count how many kills I got this one, but I'm pretty sure that on this Eagle Day simulation, I got to be an ace, bringing down enough planes and defending beloved England from attack by the horrible Germans. So I'll be looking forward to doing more online games and recording higher quality online videos. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.